Okay, now I'm going to talk about the scatter diagram, also sometimes called regression. When do you use this? You use this when you're analyzing the relationship between two variables. I've got a couple of examples here. One is the number of days of sunshine, and the other one is the height of corn. And then in sheet 2 we've got inches of rainfall and height of corn again. So we're going to look at what the relationship is between days of sunshine and inches of rainfall and the height of our corn. So first, the important thing is that you have matched pairs of data here. So for instance, in this year, and I think I have 50 years here of records, or maybe 50 locations. In this year, we had 30 days of sunshine, and maybe the average height of corn in a field was 7.081 feet tall. Another thing that's important is everything in these columns must be the same. So this has to all be days, and this has to all be feet here. If this is inches, you need to convert it over to feet, so on and so forth. So you've got the same unit of measurement for each of those. So then it's actually pretty simple. We'll start with this one over here. I'm just going to highlight these two columns, so I've got all of my data highlighted. And in Excel 2013, you go up here and you click on this, and that's it. That is already created. So the first thing we're going to want to do is zoom in. I'm going to right click here. I'm going to format my axis, and looks like I could get away with probably 10 as my max, and then it looks like about 6 as my min. Hit enter, and I can close this. So zoomed in a little bit, and then I can format this axis, and I can make that 25, and actually probably zoom in a little more, make that 26, and make this one 36, and we can close that. So then we're looking for a pattern here. We're not really seeing one. One way we can have Excel help us is we can right click on this, we can add a trend line, and what we can do is we can set the display the R squared here. And what R squared tells us is basically this R of 0.03 tells us that there's not much of a relationship, that only 3% of the height of the corn is determined by our inches of rainfall. So we know that there's a lot of other things that could play into this: fertilizer and type of soil, and in fact days of sun, which we'll look at next. So 3% of the height of the corn is predicted by rainfall according to this. So then we'll go over here and let's try another one. So again, we can insert, and you can see that this is a much stronger relationship. Now this data, just so you're aware, I made up specifically to demonstrate this. So we definitely were planning on getting a much stronger effect here, and we do so. And then I'll zoom in a little more here, and 6 there. So then when you right click on this, add your trend line, and display your R squared, so now 96% of the height of the corn is determined by the days of sunshine. What R squared does is it calculates the difference between this point in the line, this point in this 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 line. Every point, it calculates that difference. So you can see here there's a lot of differences, okay, which gives us a very small R squared. Here there's very limited differences, which gives us a very strong R squared. Also, something I want to point out is you can have 2 years that have 52 days of sunshine and have different numbers here. There's a couple of examples: 58, there's another one down here, 50s. Okay, so you can have 2 days or two sets of the same, what's called the independent variable, and this is our dependent variable here, that helps us determine, the independent helps us determine the dependent variable there. So that is really it as far as what I want to talk about with the scatter plot. So you're using this to compare two variables. You want to determine if there is an effect and how strong that effect is, and that is what our R-squared gives us. The website on ASQ, they use it a little differently, but this is how I would recommend using it, and this is how I've used it in the past. Go ahead and work through the example sheet and see if you get the same results as I do, and I'll save both the answer sheet and the raw data and see how you do with that, and then there will be homework related to this.